Yeah, no, my in-laws were in town, so I didn't get to play as much as I would have liked this weekend.
Oh,
So,
I mean, it was only Thanksgiving. It's not like it was important or anything. It's not like
right?
that's an important family holiday of any kind.
Yeah, I made it to milestone 50. That's it.
Ooh.
So my rank was my rank was 1,000.
Hey, 300 more, you would have gotten the skin.
That would have required playing while my in-laws were talking at me to me.
Never mind then. What, 50? That still gets you some rebirth crystals, right?
I think so. I don't have a problem with rebirth crystals. I'm
Oh,
the only person in the game who's ever said that, but
I truly do believe that.
I waste a lot of rebirth crystals.
it helps that I have been mostly trying to stay at the 34K level. So I'm not rebirthing everything. I'm not taking anything to rebirth 5. I'm staying here until I'm ready to take a bunch of things to RB2, maybe RB3. But
Yeah,
for now, I'm happy where I'm at.
that's fair. Okay. All right. I'm getting tagged on multiple servers right now. It's kind of funny because it's about some guy that was cheating, and it's very funny right now. I'm getting distracted so easily. Hee
Was it you? Were you the
No.
cheater?
No, it's about someone else that jumped like 30 million points in one.
Oh wow.
Like, while me and these other two guys. Oh, so we were going at it. The let me pull it up. The top. Did I end up 10th? Dang it, I can't see 11. But I hate that it does it on both Alliance and on solo. I wish it would only be Alliance at the bare minimum. But here we are. Yeah, so it's well, I gotta go find it now. Dang it. Which server was it that has it posted? One of them has it posted. I think it's Joker's that I just saw it, or I was tagged in. But yeah, me, Laughing Batman, and Arsenal have been going back. I don't know if those names mean anything to y'all, but they shout out to them, I guess. We were going at it for the last, I think, 6 or 7 hours. Just back and forth, and every so often I'd be in 11th, and then I'd be 9th, and I'd be in 11th, and I'd be in 9th, and then I'd be in 11th. And what ended up happening was Arsenal was a million ahead of me, and I think Laughing Batman, he got like just slid underneath me into 11th. So it is close, and that has been the scariest I have ever been in Raid.
Well, congratulations. It's a really impressive victory you pulled off there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It scared me. But yeah, how was y'all's Thanksgiving, guys? Just a fun old time?
Yeah. You're on Goth?
No, after you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, mine was pretty good. I went down to visit my family. My fiance went up to see his. Then his family came and stayed with us. Brought COVID, and now we're here.
That sounds like an eventful Thanksgiving.
There was also Pokemon, so all is good.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that sounds a lot more eventful than mine. I just went to visit my family and ate some good food, and that's about it. Watched my roommate play Pokemon Pearl.
Oh no, he needs to get the new one.
Or not
Okay.
Pearl,
Violet and Scarlet?
Violet, yes. For some reason, Pearl and Violet are similar in my mind.
Pearl had a remake that came out earlier this year, or late last year. I don't know. I bought it.
Pearl was... Oh god, it had to be late last year because I got it. It's because it was to hype up Arceus, and
You're right.
And Arceus was early this year because I remember it was a snow day in Texas, which we remember those because there's only like 5 of them
In history.
Yeah, in history, there are no more. So it was. Yeah, I think that's right. It should have been like, I think it was November of last year. It was the same time that Violet and Scarlet came out, but a year ago ish.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Arceus came out in January ish.
Sounds about right.
I think so. I'm just confused at this point.
No, October, November has been their normal mainline game release time frame for a few years now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's an excellent game. And to anybody who is feeling burned out on raids, play that instead. Play Pokemon instead.
Ironically, you are the minority on liking the Pokemon games, I think.
So the thing is, I can see how all of the slowdowns and all the glitches and everything can definitely cause people a lot of frustration. I've seen a lot of people posting about them. I experienced none. I experienced a little bit of slowdown at a few points, but no glitches, nothing game breaking, nothing bad. But I will say, even with those glitches, even with all of that, this this is still basically the best Pokemon game I've ever played.
See, that's what I've been reading. Is everyone's like the game is amazing, like, the game is great, the story is it's fun, it's entertaining, it's good, but it's like I'm seeing like such low ratings. Like the technical glitches are what are killing the game for them. I'm like, okay, but you're saying that the game is good. It just needs to be fixed, which is easy because that is literally just roll out an update and
Yeah,
you're golden. But like you can't change a bad design. Well, you
yeah.
can actually. If No Man's Sky proved anything, you can change a bad design.
True. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The games are good. It has 3 different storylines that all converge late into the game, but at least one of them you'll probably care about.
Exactly.
I found myself caring about 2 of them. I mean, they weren't the ones where you're going to the gyms and getting badges, but it's the other 2.
I don't know if anyone in the history of a Pokemon game has ever cared about the storyline of going to gyms and getting badges aside from the bragging rights you get from going to gyms and getting badges.
Exactly.
I think the best part about this game is that the other 2 stories also give you badges. So there are officially 18 badges for 18 types in this game.
Oh, really? I mean, I got it early this week, and I've only played. I have not gone to a gym yet.
It took me 7.5 hours before I entered the first town.
Mhm.
So I found one glitch in the game. It was beneficial. I was able to warp across a gap that I shouldn't have been able to get across. I took my level 10 team into a level 30 area, caught a bunch of level 30 Pokemon, did a lot of grinding. It was fun.
Oh no.
And then 7.5 hours later, I was like, okay, let's go start the game.
That's hilarious.
I do love going with the Pokemon game and grinding so much that you kind of you're like, well, I got to be ready for the first gym, and you overshoot by like 20 levels. Like the first gym's like level 15, and you're like, I'm level 40. All my Pokemon are fully evolved.
And then you one shot all of the gym leaders. That's my favorite way to play.
Oh, I did slightly worse than that. Because you can do the gyms in any order in this game, and they don't level scale.
So you could just go to the last gym from the get-go, and you'd get creamed.
Yes.
Great.
But what I did was I was exploring the other side of the world so much that by the time I looped around to the first gym, I had 17 of the badges. And those level 15 bug Pokemon didn't know what hit them when my level 70 Magnezone came out.
That's beautiful.
It was.
I actually had that. I was playing Arceus earlier. I love we're doing a DC Legends podcast, and all we've talked about so far is raids and Pokemon. We talked about raids. That's fine. I was playing Arceus earlier, and I'm one of those people. I'll go do random little. I'll try to go finish all the random little quests because it's in my nature. I have to do it, and then I'm probably actually going to try to finish and max out every single Pokemon's like their mission. Their individual missions. Like I'm going to be that guy.
Nice.
There's one. It's one mission. It's gotta go find a Curlia for the hairdresser in town.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's been a while since I picked up the game, so I was like, okay, wait, where's a Curlia? And I was like, there's 3 spots there are Curlias, and I go into the Snow Point Temple, and I'm going through and I'm looking, and I keep finding all these, like the Bronzongs and Ralts and all the other stuff. And then I was just kind of avoiding everything and running through. I was like, I just want my Curlia and I want to get out. I just want my Curlia and I want to get out. And I was like, well, while I'm here, I might as well do some battling and catch some Pokemon that I need to bump up their individual missions. And then I looked at Ralts. I was like, okay, what do I need to do for Ralts? And I realized I had never fought a Ralts because one of the missions is defeat that Pokemon X amount of times. And so I snuck up behind one, threw my Pokeball at it. I didn't actually check what Pokemon I had first because I was like, it's a Ralts. How powerful could it be? I could probably... No. It's bad for the Ralts, not for me. And
even better.
I was like, whatever. I just threw I threw the Pokeball. My level 70 Torterra jumps out. So this giant tortoise island, really, just towering above this little tiny baby Ralts. And I open up my moves. I only have moves that do over 100 damage. They all have 5 PP, and so I was like, how badly do I want to kill this Ralts? I used a Giga Impact on a level 15 Ralts.
Oh,
if that
my
tells you
God.
anything about how merciful I was.
For any people listening who are still listening, who
haven't shut us off yet,
who haven't played Pokemon since Red and Blue, Giga Impact is the physical version of Hyper Beam.
Cold-blooded.
Oh yes.
So I might have nuked a 5-year-old
with an island.
Just slightly.
And that was while I was trying. That's what I was raiding. That's what I was doing while I was raiding and trying to get up in there. That's what was happening there.
120 base power, a move so strong that you don't get to use a move on the next turn against a baby.
I mean, when you put it that way, it seems like a little bit of an overkill. But
just slightly.
Whatever. It's casual. It's fine.
I mean, if you want to talk about raids and Pokemon, there are raids in this Pokemon game.
That's true. I knew about that, actually. I was thinking about hopping into Raid 2.0, I guess, tonight.
Well, you just missed the Eevee raids that was happening all weekend.
I'll get over it.
Okay. I thought you would never recover.
No, I will never financially recover from that.
Yeah. How was your Thanksgiving other than raidful?
Raidful. That's all I got.
Okay.
I mean, it was. I didn't do much. I went down to visit family in Houston, so I had a 5-hour drive down and back, 5 hours both ways. So I visited family. So I drove to I started driving like an hour before raid started. So I spent the first 4 hours of my raid in a car. So I was playing on my. Don't tell the cops, but I was playing on my phone while I was driving down to Houston. Because
we're not recording this or anything.
Yeah, no, we're not going to publish this or anything. But I had my phone on I had a magnet on my phone for my car, like a little car magnet, and so it was sitting on the magnet for the entire way down and plugged in so it wouldn't die, and like the whole 9 yards. Like honestly, I was very proud of myself because I got about 400 bosses on the ride down, I think. But I mean, day 1 bosses, so nothing to brag about. But then I get down there and we do Thanksgiving, and I'm kind of playing on the side like that. You know that like when you're playing at the table, but you're playing under the table, so no one knows you're playing at the table, like that kind of thing.
That thing that people do where everybody knows.
Exactly, because you're glancing down at your crotch the entire time, and no one glances at their crotch at dinner for absolutely no reason. So either you're weird or you're playing games on your phone.
I mean, certainly nobody glances down at their crotch and smiles, which is what you kind of do when you're playing raids. So
actually, it was more of like a God, shit, like the whole time.
Which also I hope most people aren't doing while staring at their crotches at the table.
Only in very specific scenarios.
Yes, that's somebody's something.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's all I'm saying. And then drove back up, and obviously raid's in full swing, so I'm driving back up. I think it was only day 2 still. Yeah, because it was I did day 2 raid. Basically, was my whole time was in the car. I actually rescheduled all my hours because I had it scheduled. I was like, I'm not gonna do those. I was like, absolutely. I did I had some graveyard shifts scheduled. I was like, or I could just play it in the car. So I did all of my day 2 in the car.
Nice.
Which actually proved better because I was gonna fall asleep again if I did that graveyard shift. And then I did it in the car, and then honestly, I just spent the last 2 days watching Family Guy, Drag Race, and playing DC Legends on my phone.
Nice.
That's the way to do it, though.
Oh yeah.
Jorngoth, what's your go-to show while mindlessly grinding raids?
It varies raid to raid, but this raid I watched a lot of Home Improvement, the show with Tim Allen from the 90s.
Oh, I was like Home Improvement. Oh yeah, I forget. It's such a good show.
Yeah, I don't know. I get into like old shows. I also rewatched all of Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher over this raid.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Just silly older stuff that I remember watching when I was young that, it's soothing and fun and a light distraction so I can mostly focus on the raid, but, still get stuff done.
When I was young, says the guy in his 20s.
Yeah.
Back in my youthful days.
I feel
Also known as
old.
last week.
Yes, says the other guy in his early 20s.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
From the guy who's in his early 30s. So it's not like I'm ancient or anything, but well, ancient comparatively on here, but
oh my god.
My go-to is usually The Simpsons, just because I tend to schedule my hours for after dark. So like
That's fair.
at bedtime, when my partner's asleep, he'll go to sleep and I'll stay up raiding because he is, a decrepit old man who likes to go to bed he's been in bed for 2 hours now.
Oh, is he right there?
No, he's.
Oh.
I'm not recording in bed. That would be weird.
No, I would be. I wouldn't hold it against you.
Fair. No, I have my nice new office.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
We're usually in bed by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that. So I'll schedule and I don't fall asleep until about 11. So I'll schedule my hours for 9 to 11 and just watch Simpsons while he's asleep.
Whatever works, right?
Yeah.
I actually watched the most shows I think of any raid I've ever done because I didn't have as much to do this weekend in the first place. But I toggled through a lot this weekend, surprisingly.
No plays that you had to perform in or stage.
I'm in between both right now, which is so weird. It's been a while since I've been in between shows too. Because when I was in college, it was always like you finish rehearsals, you finish your production that Saturday, you have Sunday off, Monday you strike the show, and Monday night you start the next one if you're in the next one. So when you're in all of them, because you're a guy in theater, therefore you're in everything. it was very constant, and so it's kind of strange because we finished Little Shop almost a month ago now, and we start Fiddler tomorrow actually, and so it's kind of interesting to be in that. I've had almost a month without a show I've been worried about.
Has it been nice having all that extra free time?
Yes? Question mark?
I mean, I don't know.
It's been one of those things like I have to do something, but I don't know what to do, but I don't want to do nothing, so I'm just gonna find something. But then you spend so long figuring out what to do. It's like, I'll do it tomorrow, and then I spend tomorrow figuring out what to do. It's rough, but I mean, I've gotten to chill out a little bit, which is a lot nicer than what was going on before, which was madness, chaos, and unfiltered.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it's great. It's the dream, But yeah, no, I mean, I cycled through a lot of shows this weekend, and because I just didn't have any other. Like last raid, I remember I had 2 performances. Well, 4 performances during raid weekend, I guess. So I was like, I guess I'll get everything in on Sunday. Yay!
So while we're on the topic of raids and actually talking about DCL, I did
for 5 minutes.
Right, I did want to mention we have a question that was asked of us to talk about on this podcast, coming from Butcher.
Where is that? Where? What? Huh?
Oh, you missed it. I posted this on the Discord. So anybody who's over on Discord, whenever raid is upon us, feel free to put questions over there. We'll talk about them and we'll shout you out on air. But today we got a question from Butcher asking how to most efficiently farm red energy for raids. So the raid boss energy. And I've got to say, if you're looking for time efficiency, the most efficient way is going to cost you $25 on day one.
If you're looking for the most efficient way, you're going to spend about, I think I spent 75,000 gems this month.
Yeah,
and I ended it with what I started.
So that's what, 15 red energy for a couple hundred gems?
It depends on the day you're farming. Actually, is what I discovered this weekend.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about buying the packs in the energy store.
No, I mean I spent 75,000 gems this weekend.
Like
farming.
Wow, that's impressive.
Farming, which makes me wish there were gem incentives for the solo rewards more now, because that top 10 was a fight, and I just realized I don't get anything but, well, character frags and legendary essence are nice.
Did you super care about Plastic Man?
No, that's the problem. It was the Plastic Man month.
Yeah.
I'm getting all my Plastic Man frags at once. It's really irritating me. And the skin. I got the skin that the top 700 got. It's fine.
Is it any different from his normal skin? It's Etrigan, right?
Yes, it's a slightly different suit, and the face is... I like the face a little bit better, so from what I can see. Because it's this new art... I've noticed this over the last couple months. It's this new art team. Honestly, since Yara, Flora, Nubia... Is that right, Nubia? I was like, when they came out the same month. When they came out, do you remember how we were all kind of like, whoa, what's this like that graphic was the same, but it like the texture of the characters was so drastically different. It was just like the shading was a lot more intense, and everything just looked a lot cleaner, I think. And it's this new art team that I'm really loving a lot of the stuff they're doing. Like I think the Black Lantern Spectre skin was really well executed, and it doesn't look like every single other Black Lantern skin just on Spectre. The same with the Black Mask one. Like a lot of these skins we've been getting lately, most of them. I'm not a big fan of the Dr. Fate one, but aesthetically, it's fine. It's just, I don't like the pants.
You heard it here first. Bacon wants to take Dr. Fate's pants off.
No, I would like to take them off and change them out with a different pair of pants that are less poofy. Let's be very clear there.
No, let's be less clear.
Let's be vaguer. That's going to go well. Yeah.
It's always worked for me in the past.
Yeah, I have a thing for cosmic entities. That's my thing.
You never...
I mean, how could you not?
No, you got a point. It's a valid point. But I like the Etrigan skin. It looks better. That's what I'll say on that.
I also like the Etrigan skin. I think it looks good.
Well, you all have convinced me to be sad that I missed it.
I'm sorry, that wasn't my goal.
It's just like, do you remember like when the old stuff? It kind of looks cheesy. Like a lot of the old character animations and like how they looked in game and everything looked a little cheesy. If we're being honest here, it looked a little cheesy.
So what you're saying is we should get this new art team to go back and take a second pass at Red Sun's Superman?
Yes, they need to take a pass at Red Sun Superman and get us a better... That was like the best skin ever. And then they had to change it, I think, I don't know, copyright issues or something. I don't even know. They just changed it for no reason. It looks so bad. It still looks bad. I cycled through it the other day. It was terrible.
Oh.
My cousin was playing with my phone, and she was like, I want to see all that. Like, she's like, I want to see what they look like. And I'm like, okay. And like, who's that? I'm like, that's Superman. And like, oh my gosh, he looks so cool. And then I was like, do you want to see him in a different look? And she was cycling through. She's like, I like that one. And I changed like all my character skins because she wanted them to look a certain way. I was like, okay, cool. But I went through the Superman ones because I didn't realize also there were that many Superman ones. I think there's like 7 skins, including both of his like basic skins. At this point, there's a lot, but the Red Sun one's atrocious. Like, I'd take the gold one over the Red Sun one.
the one that crashed the game for a while.
I would take that over what this Red Sun skin looks like. I would take a non-functional game. Nope, I can't make that joke. can't make a joke about a non-functional game with this game.
No, next month is bug fix month. Remember?
Oh, you're right. It's bug fix month. That means we're gonna fix all the ones that happened this year.
Yeah, all the ones that benefit the players.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Because that's what happened last December too. Yeah, exactly that. Nothing different.
Wasn't last December Garth?
Last December was Garth, yes.
Yeah, that was bad.
And
That was
the
bad.
rework was Aqualad.
I really hope the one fix that I really want them to do is for Spectre not to stun dead people anymore.
That would be cool.
I'd like that too. I don't think it's technically it is a bug. I don't think it's on the radar of important bugs. I really don't.
Fair, but it's the one that impacts most players, I would say. Or one of the ones that impacts most players. Because when was the last time you saw a team without Spectre?
You know, I just realized we danced around and didn't actually answer in any capacity whatsoever.
Yeah, I had that thought at the exact same second.
Nice. Yeah. I was like, we didn't actually talk about that at all.
No. So back to Butcher's question.
We'll fix it in
5 minutes
post.
later.
We'll fix it in post.
Like we fix everything else.
Yeah.
It's a bug fix month here at Apokolips Productions also.
Yeah, definitely that's about to happen.
But yeah, so honestly the most efficient way to grind red energy is to be beating solo bosses. And not just your own, but those from your alliance mates as well. I know a lot of the top tier alliances, you'll see that they have naming conventions that include some signal of their name. Like, you'll see all of the owls have the owl symbol in their name. That way,
Who?
Yeah, them. The ones that say that. They'll have their symbol in their name, so that when their alliance mates throw up share a boss with everyone, they'll know to prioritize those, because if your alliance is the highest attacker on any given higher level boss, I think 90 and above, maybe 68 and above, the alliance that has the most hitters on it gets the alliance reward, which is red energy.
Yeah.
And also scouts get a red energy. 1 to 3, I think, per...
yeah, it depends on the boss.
Yeah, depends on the boss level. So the most efficient way to farm red energy, if you're looking for the most cost-effective way, it's farming solo bosses. If you're looking for the fastest way, it's buying the 5 raid packs at the start on day 1 for $5.
Yep. $25, 500 energy for both solo and alliance, 5,000 gems, and 500 energy, 500 blue energy? Question mark.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 100 of the energies apiece.
No, it's 500 per pack, so it's 2,500.
I think it's 100 for the raid energy and 500 blue normal energy. Right?
I think in my head I was saying total, and then I switched to per pack by the end.
Aha!
500 raid energy, both blue and red, total for all 5 packs. 2,500 blue energy for campaign missions and upgrade or hero challenges across the packs, and 5,000 gems across the packs.
Also, some Speed Force? Is that right?
Yes.
I think 30 per pack.
Which is
150
it more?
total.
I think it's higher than that.
I think it is too, because I always get into the thousands. I think it's like 100. It's got to be more than that.
I think it's like 100.
That'd be so weird. Like all of this and all of that and all that and like 5 Speed Force. Just a few. Jorngoth, what do you do for red energy? Like, what do you have a strategy?
So my strategy depends. Like I said, or like you guys said, I farm a lot of the solo bosses, but if I'm actually like in dire need of red energy, it's a basically 1-for-1 conversion for I think it's 51 through 90 bosses. If your alliance mate shares them and you just get a hit on them and one of your alliance team gets the MVP like you guys said. So what I always do is I will message someone in the alliance who I know is active, or I'll post in just our raid chat and be like, "Hey, does anyone want to share a bunch of their low level solos, non legendary,
Mm-hmm.
for me to kill?" Because it's just a 1-for-1 conversion on your blue raid energy or solo raid energy to your alliance energy.
Okay.
That's a really good strategy.
Interesting.
I hadn't thought about that. Because
See, I'm the guy who always gets mad whenever we share those low level bosses because like, get him out of my thing, I'm farming.
Yeah, so I sometimes ask people to do it just for an easy way to get red energy without having to spend gems to get more solo bosses to spawn on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much of the blue raid energy. I think I have over 4,000 of it because I just can't kill enough solo bosses to keep up with it any given raid. And I have collected it over years and years and years. And so I would love to be able to one convert that. So that's a great tip. Thank you.
Yeah, it's usually better to do it when there aren't as many people active so that you don't have multiple people like trying to tag it or potentially trying to steal it, which doesn't make sense for solo bosses because you can just take them down to over half for the first attacker. But that's the way I do it. I try to get it when there aren't very many people on though, just so it's less cluttered.
Like during the graveyard hours, you'll do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can respect that a little bit more. I was like, during the day, you're a goth.
No. It's not like, oh, it's reset in 30 minutes, before the raid's over. Everyone should share their low level bosses for the energy conversion.
Yeah. Oh wow, I'm posting my raid energy in the server like we usually do at the end, and which if you haven't done it, I know Erebus has. If you haven't done it, reminder, do that so dark
Yeah, I'm
doesn't
gonna
kill
do
you.
that now.
I spent about, well, from start to finish, I know I spent way more than that because obviously, I have 2,000 less blue energy than I started the raid with, or solo boss energy. I just realized that. It's a nice 1-to-1 conversion kind of happened, but
Yes.
not really. I mean, I went. I mean, y'all saw I went crazy this raid. I started with, didn't do too bad for myself. I started with 1,200 in Alliance boss energy, and I ended with 2,100. So I guess I did fine. Okay. I was kind of beating myself up. I was like, I wasted all that energy. I didn't get any traction. I was like, I got some traction today. Yeah, I guess that way works. I hadn't thought about that, about the lower level bosses. I think of I think red energy, how to, and like acquiring it. I think of the legendary bosses, the big boys, because those ones give you,
They give you 3
they give you
or it's
5 if
2.
you're the scout and your alliance powers in.
Yeah, but I mean, they give you 3 if it's an alliance members that you're tagging in for just like the alliance team assist.
Yeah.
It's not as effective as that method for sure, but it's just like an easy additional method that I like to do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and about to say it's I mean, to put it in a weird way, because that's how I do everything in my life apparently. The easiest way to get red energy is to complete the milestones. If you're hitting bosses, you're completing the milestones and you're getting energy along the way. Like that's gonna happen. Like you'll get the energy no matter what. It's about time management at that point, like making sure that if you're shooting for, I want to end raid with 2,000 alliance boss energy, but I also have to hit 300. What do we hit? Is ours 400?
400 minimum, yeah, I think.
Are we 400, Erebus?
Yeah. Well, yes.
I don't know. I just work here.
Yes.
You've got to make sure that you account that if you're farming. Well, let's do what I did. I had 1,200 and I bumped up to 2,000. I need to gain 800 alliance energy, but I've got to also hit my 400 bosses minimum. So that's going to cost me at least 1,200 because we hit on 5 times across the board. And so, and then you get into like time and all that good stuff. But I mean, like you've got to realize like if you're farming 800 energy, you're not farming 800 energy. You're farming, for us, 2,000 energy to keep 800 for next time. And so I think the easiest way is just kind of the same idea that you've got Jorungoth. It's just tagging into the big bosses to the legendaries because they give more and you can spend significantly less. Plus you get more energy for the milestones, which each of them give you something. Some of them are the energy that are the red energy. So it's got a nice Raid has a very nice tit for tat going on, except for alliance bosses, ironically, which is like the entire point of the event. Because they give you next to nothing.
If you're the MVP, though, they give you a bunch of solo boss energy.
You're correct, yes. That is a true statement that you made, yes.
I don't know if I just, blew Bacon's mind or something.
What happened? What?
The alliance bosses, when you get MVP, you get solo boss energy. So it is meant to be all cyclical.
Yeah, it's not balanced in its cyclicity, if you will. I don't think, because you've got the legendary bosses, you've got 5 alliance boss energy, you've got 10 blue energy, you've got all of this solo points and XP and legendary essence, and you beat alliance boss and you get XP and maybe some solo boss energy if you're lucky, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else actually to that. I think it's truly just that.
I believe you're correct.
Oh, and there is one more thing, but it's so minimal. I don't know if it even matters. I don't remember. Oh well, c'est la vie.
Yeah.
But it's not quite cyclical, but it is.
Yeah, it would be a little hard to do the same 4 categories that you have on solo bosses because you can't have the alliance reward because, well, you're going to get that because it's an alliance boss. And you can't have the scout reward because they just auto-populate.
I agree. I think an interesting thing that's going to be a coding nightmare, and I don't think they should do it because I think it'll crash the game, is in place of one of those categories, it's because it's already MVP, but instead of in addition to MVP, whoever gets the killing blow. Because MVP, you have to be a high damage dealer, but you don't have to be a high damage dealer to be the last one to get damage on it. The issue on that then becomes, those times when you've hit it and it doesn't count your damage because someone else killed it already?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
That's when that would get rough, I think. But at the same time, it's one of those things, even a new player could come in and get the kill point.
You say that, except if you look at the list of attackers after any given solo or alliance boss, there is a category that says finisher. It lists who finished the boss.
Oh, then we're just missing the reward for that. Come on!
Right. So, what you're asking for exists and is tracked. It is just not rewarded.
Interesting. I never noticed that because I kind of just checked to see how much damage I did and if someone beat me, and then I move on.
I only saw it today for the first time because I was looking at a solo boss that I was trying to steal from someone, and I was a couple thousand away from stealing it, and I was a little angry. But I was scrolling through and seeing what all the categories were, and that was one of them, finisher.
And that's for alliance bosses or solos?
Solos.
Oh, that's even harder.
Yeah.
Well, actually, and that's it's really stemming from a different desire I have in the game, which is I want there to be a cumulative, almost like an achievement tracker, which I know we have that achievement coming soon tab, but kind of different. But kind of like a cumulative, over the span of your life in the game. How many PvP matches have you won? How many times have you run the campaign? How some games have that where it will keep track of all of these random achievements that you're I did this, and you're okay, you get nothing for that. Even on a character level, how many times have I used Atrocitus in PvP? Which I'm sure that number has gone up significantly in the last month.
That would be so cool. but it would probably make a lot of players really have to reassess their lives. Like, oh, I've spent 5,000 or 6,000 hours playing this game.
Maybe don't put that number in there. Maybe don't let us see that statistic. Just the other ones.
If you're playing on Android, you can see that in the Play Games store.
I don't want to do that.
That's why I have iOS.
When I do that for my World of Warcraft characters, I get really sad too.
Yeah, I did that on Final Fantasy XIV after like a year of playing, and I was like, I have spent over 40 full days of my life in this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that just flew out of my head. That sounds like it would be really cool. I know on WOWL they mentioned that during Siege, sometimes when they don't feel like playing PvP battles, they will just jump into a battle and jump out 27 times just to get their Siege energy points. And this could be a way to make them care about actually doing those Wraith PvP battles again.
Yeah. Or just at least a fun way to kind of track your history of the game. Like, I think I'd probably have one of the higher amount of people who've used Blue Beetle the most. I think I could take that title very easily if it started tracking from when I started the game.
I boosted him to L3 today.
3? Did you get frags from the Wraith Arena packs?
No, I just had them.
Oh, you're just holding on to them for fun.
So some days when I'm close on finishing the daily missions or the legendary missions, I'll just go in, find somebody one of my lower characters so that I'm not wasting legendary essence, and just boost him up. So he was, I think I have almost everybody at least L3 now. I think he was one of the last ones to go up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but I did think about that and wanted to share that with you. My Blue Beetle is now L3.
Woo!
And level 20.
I'm less thrilled now.
He's my lowest level character, but
hold on. We're gonna sidebar. This is a sidebar now. This is an official sidebar.
No, I think this is the new topic.
This is the new topic? Okay, great. You are telling me that that you have built. Oh my god, I'm about to scream in my bedroom right now. You are telling me that you have built Joker damaged goods more than you have built Blue Beetle?
One of them has a useful skill.
If you imply if you're implying Joker damaged goods has any useful anything whatsoever, we're gonna have to reevaluate the future of this podcast.
Would it make you feel better if I told you that damaged goods is also level 20?
Would make me feel better.
So my level 20s are Blue Beetle, King's Tide, Firestorm, and damaged goods.
We'll get over it eventually.
I don't care.
Thanks. I feel really appreciated right now.
Just, you know what? I need to level someone up today, right? Let's see.
Take him to 21. Take Beetle to 21. Just get him above freaking damaged goods.
Sounds like damaged goods is going to 21.
Oh, he went to 31.
I'm gonna cry. Well, thank you for joining us on an Apokolips Production.
On the final episode.
On the final episode, we're actually going to delete the channel in a minute, so good luck finding anything. This is upsetting. I think I need to. I don't even know what I need. I think I need a shot.
Why does this podcast always end on alcohol? Wait,
you upset me so.
Wait, wasn't there a topic that you were supposed to cover on drinking during raids?
Oh, why it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I thought that was our next Why Should I Care About?
Oh, you're right.
But no, why is it a good idea to drink during raids? The short version, it's not. The long version, it makes tapping your phone in the exact same manner repeatedly a lot more entertaining.
That's fair. And it can actually make the jokes of some of your alliance leaders funny.
Cold-blooded.
I got Did you see what Yorgoth, you were on last night? I don't know if you were, Erebus. Did you see what I said to Scorpio? It's
That is
Eldion.
possible. Was it about the Team A and Team B thing?
It was while we were in the middle of that whole Team A, Team B thing. It was just I asked Scorpio if his back was okay from carrying Eldion through the raid.
That was
Oh,
that was amazing.
I don't think Eldion's very happy.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was funny.
I was very proud of that moment.
I read
And
through
then
all of that this morning, and I was cackling in bed, and especially the part where you and Digi were going back and forth for a little while, and you just yelled "Papa" at one point.
He's my father. He's my father. I tell you.
It was adorable.
Oh my gosh, it was a fun night. All in all, it could have been more productive, but it was a fun one.
You were doing some good math there.
I have never done math like that big in my head in so long that I was just there was one point I made up numbers. I don't know where they came from. I don't know where they went. They were there at one point.
That was really funny.
I don't know. Did it ever I hope it got deleted because God, I felt like an idiot.
Oh no, it did not.
No, okay, yeah, because if you know about it, it clearly didn't. Oh no, my bad math is there.
Did you know that you can go in and delete things on Discord?
Yeah, yes, I'm aware I can delete things, but I want all the other comments deleted because there's enough other stuff going on that's tied into it that they'll know I deleted it. That's the problem. I want the whole conversation erased from the record.
Including the next line down, which just asked, did you make those numbers up?
I think I did. I definitely did. That's the problem. But here's the thing. All of those numbers logically, like all the math I did, to give context for everyone, without giving everything away. Last night, being like the midpoint of the last day of raid, we had a fun back and forth of trying to see if we could ramp up our speed killing bosses. And we had two teams, and it was this whole fun Team A versus Team B thing. It was a lot of fun. But I was there as moral support, and I was taking screenshots of the progress every 15 minutes. And I tried to get the information out as quickly as possible. And at one point, I just made up numbers. That's exactly what happened, because I fully did the math. Like, I can't explain it. I did the math properly, and then all the numbers were wrong. And to this, I'm looking at the exact same screenshots right now from when that happened, and I cannot tell you how I got to any of those numbers.
I did the math, and then I drew numbers out of a hat and chose to use those instead.
And if I'm honest, I would say I was drinking. However, I wasn't drinking. So I was extremely sober, which is the worst part about this.
So there you go, loyal listeners. Why should you care about drinking during raids? It's so that you can do math weirdly.
Yep.
While sober.
It was all the other people. They were getting drunk. So
you were context drunk.
Yes. Yeah. I was drunk with power.
When have any of us ever had that? I guess right now, but
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying. I somehow said that we were gonna do 160 bosses in an hour, which
seems unrealistic.
On day 4, doesn't exactly seem possible.
No.
Maybe if Question was still
broken, maybe. That's a big maybe even then.
I mean, that's what, a boss every 20 seconds?
160, that would be
180 bosses would be every 20 seconds.
Yeah.
3 a minute.
It's doable it's very doable day 1. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, well, with Spectre times 5.
We were hitting we were getting them down in 30 seconds. So I mean it
okay.
You are. It wasn't right, but it wasn't far off. It was just the wrong numbers were somewhere in the equation.
Fair enough.
I don't know. All I know is I farmed all the red energy I needed last night.
Nice.
watching all this happen.
So, for a fun game, how would you all like to guess what holidays are next weekend that wouldn't be interrupted by having raids?
Ooh, I want to guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Is it Kwanzaa?
Yeah, no.
I'm very not sure.
I'm actually getting convinced as I'm going through the list of holidays in my head that there is actually no holiday on December
December
2nd,
1st
3rd, or
through
4th.
Yeah. Amazing how that works, isn't it? How if raid were 1 week later, we would interrupt exactly nothing. We would have had the siege character actually available, the ×5 siege character, and would have started on the last day of the month, on the last Wednesday of the month, which we have done many times before.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm not bitter, but let's.
Yes, you're
look at-
bitter. You are
Oh,
a
I'm
bitter
so
man
bitter.
right now.
Let's look at some world holidays that would be interrupted by this raid. December 1st, Peppermint Bark Day.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Peppermint Bark Day. December 2nd, National Bartender Day.
Whoa, that's an important holiday.
That's true and fair, but we've already covered that drinking while playing raids is advisable.
This is true. We've already established it. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Additionally, Faux Fur Friday.
FAUX?
Yes.
Faux Fur Friday?
Yes.
That
would be December 2nd.
That is a thing? Faux Fur Friday?
It is, in fact.
I know what I'm wearing on Friday. Thank you.
December 3rd, Earmuff Day. Tell me what this one is. Global Fat Bike Day.
I think I know what that is, but I'm not allowed to say on the podcast.
FAT or PHAT?
FAT.
Oh, yep, I know.
Okay.
Fat Bike Day?
Yes.
I don't think I want to know.
It is also Let's Hug Day.
Oh, well that's important. We can't interrupt that.
But I think we should celebrate International Spirit of the Game Day.
Oh, now this is poor timing. Now this is bad planning.
Right?
We were well past bad planning, but this is now worse planning.
And then December 4th, of course, we would be interrupting International Cheetah Day.
Could be tied in.
But also National Cookie Day and
That's an important one.
the International Day of Banks.
That also seems very fitting to the game. With the amount of money that some people spend on this.
It's fair. But why are we celebrating banks on a Sunday? A day that they're all closed?
Because then they can't say anything about it.
But yes, so just a thought that I'm very glad that we didn't interrupt those important holidays with our raid this year.
Okay. Here, hold on. So here's my thing. While I understand the point and respect the arguments, the phrasing, and I know I'm gonna get flack for this. I can already sense the argument's gonna happen. I don't agree with the phrasing of raid happening on the last Wednesday of the month. Yes, it starts on the last Wednesday of the month per our time zones. However, reset happens at midnight Greenwich Mean Time, which means it's actually starting on the last Thursday of the month, which would make the 24th the correct date. Because and I got a bunch of crap from the community when I did my. Well, I got a bunch of crap for other reasons too. But do you remember the last? Oh God, this was forever ago. You might not actually know what I'm talking about. I think it was before I was in New Gods even. There was a phase of my. You know how I do the histories.
Yeah.
You like how I've started 16 different sentences in the last minute.
Yeah.
So I do the histories, and there was a part of that time when I added in I did the history of the shop deals. And so every month I would post the previous month's shop information for historical purpose so that we could, this was before they started just data mining and just hacking into the coding of the game to figure out what was coming next month. But they did, I got a lot of crap for it. People were like, well, why wouldn't you post this at the beginning of the month? I was like, because I went through the month to figure it out like the rest of you. I'm just posting it because I was going to see if we could find like, if we could connect to the historical dots to see like, okay, we can find a pattern now. That was my goal with that. And then nothing ever really worked because the only patterns that there really are in the game is like on certain days, certain price packs will go out. And Fridays, I called it Fridays. Technically, it's reset on Thursday night for us. Will be the new and reworked character kits, and we could predict that. And Siege 2, and I had an algorithm for like some of the consistent stuff. It was a whole thing. Regardless, the point of that was I got a lot of crap for that because I posted it at the end of the month for starters. But I would also put deals on the day that they mainly encompass. So if reset was on Wednesday night and so goes into the shop, I would put them on Thursday because we spend more time in Thursday than we spent on Wednesday. Because really we're spending 5 to 6 hours on the day that reset happens. And then we're spending the remaining 18 to 19 on the next day. So do you see where my logic's going there? Like it might be reset on Wednesday night, but really it's really starting Thursday because it's going, if you go off of Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah, no, that checks out. That makes a lot of sense. I hadn't looked at it from that perspective before, but no, that makes 100% perfect sense.
It does. I appreciate that explanation.
Thank you. And I actually lost my train of thought halfway through, which is why I just rambled for a minute there. But
yeah, it was more of one of those push carts than a train, but yeah.
Yeah. But so that's how I've always looked at it, which is why whenever we have those weird ones that you're like this one, I was like, it shouldn't start on Thanksgiving, but here we are starting on Thanksgiving anyway. But I can see why we're not doing it the next week because that's how my brain processed it. Now, granted, we've had raids where they've been completely out of the month.
Right.
I think on my history, I actually have quotation marks around that month, and I call it I think, wasn't it like August or something this year? Or it was the July raid started in August, right? Was that right? Or something along those lines?
I think so, but I don't definitively remember.
But that happened. That happened this year. Something along those lines happened.
Been
and so, like in my history, I have if it's July, and if it was the end of July raid, I was like the quote unquote July raid. And then you have the actual August raid and whatever it was. I think I'm funny, and that's all that matters.
I agree with you thinking you're funny.
At least someone does.
No, you're funny, dude.
Aw, Jorngoth's got me. Thank you, Jorngoth.
Absolutely.
I agreed with you too, but okay.
No. You agreed that I think I'm funny. Don't twist your own words here. I'm gonna twist them for you if you're not careful.
It's a subtle difference, but it's important.
Important to me. Oh, good Lord.
I just wanted you to know that you are right. You think you're funny.
You know what? We'll discuss this later.
Listeners, off air, he beats me. No, I do appreciate that explanation. It makes some sense.
And it only makes sense until the devs don't do that, and then you're kind of just sitting there like, well, I guess none of us know what's going on anymore.
Right. And again, I know that Thanksgiving in November is a purely U.S. holiday. And I know other countries celebrate theirs at other times, and many countries don't have one. But still, most of the dev team is based in the U.S., and setting raids on a weekend where if something were to go wrong, which thankfully I did not see any big things go wrong this weekend.
I didn't have any issues that weren't Wi-Fi related, or a couple of like my own personal Wi-Fi related, or I had a couple issues actually in the last like 20 minutes, which really pissed me off as I'm going for top 10. I'm like, I can't hit my solo bosses. I can't hit my solo bosses.
Oh. But yeah, thankfully nothing went super wrong. But if something had, I would have felt real bad for any of those devs that would have had to be working on Thanksgiving or over the holiday weekend when they could have been, taking a break or spending time with family.
Family schmamily.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and in all honesty, if shit had hit the fan, it probably wouldn't have hit till Black Friday. So at least they would have gotten the day.
I don't know. Back at the end of May, wasn't it day one where everybody lost bosses for a while?
No,
because there was the one where we all lost bosses on day 3 and 4, and that was April, I think, and then May.
Yeah, it was the
we
two
also
back to back.
Yeah, May. I think it was day 1.
No, I remember sorry, I think this is what happened in May. Because May, I think, was worse actually than April. Because April, we just lost bosses, and then some teams decided to stop, and some who shall remain nameless decided to keep hitting and break into top 10 if they were so lucky. Who shall remain nameless? Sorry, positive podcast. Positive podcast. The May one was the one. Do you remember that? It was where it cycled for the first like 2 to 3 days. Like you would get to the final boss that's supposed to keep, and then it would loop back to 1, and then it would cycle through, and then on day 3 it crashed and another bosses showed up, which we ran into the exact same issue that weekend, I think.
And thank God we all got 600 Mongol shards.
Woo! I don't know. It was less of a reward at the time when he had his taunt. When we bullied the devs into taking off his taunt, at least it was a little bit better than really.
I mean, I'm gonna say I still haven't actually seen any teams running him. So
I saw a team with Mongol lead the other day.
1 in 6 months?
Yeah. It might have been the day he was a Alliance mission character. And I might have easily beaten him with Supergirl.
Not hard
to do. And the rest of the team too. I think it was a really low level team too. So it's really not a feat. But I saw one.
Fair enough.
Yeah. He's not good. He's just not good. Too much true damage. It's too much true damage.
Yeah.
That isn't applying properly.
Yeah. Also
or it's just true damage sucks. Well, and I mean, Poison's still technically bugged on her true damage because her true damage is doing ridiculous amounts of damage on her 3. Isn't it her 3?
No.
Oh,
that's not true damage.
What's up with her 3 that does so much freaking damage?
Her 3 is 1 light special damage per bleed on the enemy team.
I don't have bleeds on my team on turn 1. I don't know. I need to unpack that ability better.
The 3 applies 3 or 4 bleed, I think.
Oh, it's applying the bleed before the damage.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go look at Dr. Poison's kit. Give me a second.
And then after that, she applies 1% true damage to the enemy team per bleed on the team. So you'll get 13 hits of special damage, or of light damage, followed by 12% true damage.
So. Grenade has 10% true damage on it.
It does?
Yes, that's the initial ability. It's 10% true damage to all enemies and apply 3 bleeds. Additional light special damage to enemy team per bleed on the enemy team. can't miss. That's the base ability, and then the heal immunities are the legendary. I was like, there's true damage on there, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I use her every day. It just go boom.
It go boom. See, and I think I still think something's wrong with it because she will it's doing a ridiculous amount of damage when I even have debuff immunity to keep me from getting bleeds.
Okay,
Like
that should stop her.
it should stop her, yet here I am getting nuked by Dr. Frickin' Poison.
To any devs listening, she does not need any bug fixes at all for next month. Please stay away. Please stay away from her.
I don't think it's a bug. I just think people have her really built, and she's built different now. I was so used to her being like this trash tier tomb that you just kind of breathe on and she dies, and now we're here. I'm still not over it.
She is the cornerstone of most of my teams. She is what made my alt account turn a corner. So that at 4 stars, or at R4, I can win matches at twice my power.
That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it.
Her Lex Inspector on one team, you can punch. You can punch real high.
That's an early game nightmare.
It is. And with today's Black Flash sale,
I haven't even checked the shop. Hold on, there's a Black Flash sale.
Yep, 11,000 gems for 250 fragments, I think.
Yep.
I have him legendary 5 now. I'm very happy, but I'm also out of gems. But we get our gem payment tomorrow, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I am just a few frags short of a rebirth on Black Flash. And I think I'm about to be a few frags over a rebirth.
I have him RB1, and I bought 2 packs because that's all I don't want to spend 33k gems to get RB2 ready. I'll wait for the next sale for that. Support tunes don't super need RBs anyways.
I don't know. Black Flash does enough damage that I wouldn't just justify him as just a support tune.
That's true and fair.
But he doesn't ramp up like Spectre does, so yes, the argument is invalid when you have Spectre as your damage dealer, blue.
I mean, I shouldn't talk bad about him. He is my... At RB1, he is my top tune.
I've been rebirthing a lot of characters lately, and I'm realizing that I have been rebirthing a lot of characters. For no reason.
Exciting.
Well, and I think it's... I got some dots I'm going to connect real quick. Just hear me out.
No.
Okay, don't hear me out. I'm going to talk anyway, though. I think that changing up, and away, right?
Uh-huh.
To the just collect gear mission has just shifted focus. Like, you're not worried about getting your 11 gear upgrades every day. Because I haven't built a character up for no reason in a hot minute. Because like I have some people that are, I think, gear 11 at this point that were only built up there because I was like, I'm bored, I need a project, and I have to do gear every day, so might as well work on this idiot. Like I'm trying to think who's my like the one, like there's some tunes that like I should never have built them in the first place, and this was a mistake because I have wasted so many resources on a character that's stupid. Like Dr. Poison. I'm kidding. I had Riddler at 70-11 before his rework where he was actually good. And because I was...
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was really nice that day. But it was because I needed someone... And it was while he was kind of useful for raids, but only like half of the raids, which was stupid. So it was kind of that... I was like, I might as well build him. I probably won't use him. And now he's good. I'm like, well, thank God I built him, I guess. But I mean, I have Arsenal at 70 gear 11. Why? Why do I have Arsenal at 70 gear 11? It wasn't even for his rework. It was completely unrelated.
He got somewhat better. Not good, but better.
I have Tula.
Okay.
I have freaking Aqua Girl up here.
I mean, as long as Garth isn't.
No, Garth is actually one of my lower. Is I think at the bottom of my roster still.
Good call.
Yeah, he's level 46, gear 2. But I think with that shift in focus, I have been able to reassess what I actually need to do, which is take some tunes to Rebirth and focus. I have grinded the Legendary Essence upgrade mission more just weekly now because of this. Like I do it probably every week. I grind for about 25k, anywhere from 25 to 1000k or 100,000k on the Essence.
Wow.
Because I got the gems to spare for it now.
Yeah.
Because you're not wasting everything the day before to make sure you have enough to at least get a gear on a tune the next day.
Yeah.
Or enough for 11.
And, I mean, you get more green essence to play with for leveling up more characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no.
So, honestly, that was a good call from the get-go by the devs changing that mission, but it's proving to be a really good call.
Yeah, no, the more time that progresses with this change, the happier I am with it. Same as you.
Oh, yes.
Plus, you can get gear anywhere. You just have to. It's just easier to farm it on those days.
Yeah. You look at a node and you get gear.
Speaking of gear, I need to gear up Vandal.
The fact that we don't know what these kits are, like that one also really annoys me about the change in the when raid was.
Usually we have the rework.
Right. Not
and the new characters.
Not having even info on the new characters, not having the siege tune ready and finished, and also the holiday thing. It was just I was very frustrated with WB.
I have a sneaking suspicion. Well, I have a hunch that probably won't pan out because I'm sure it's just me overthinking the entire process, which I'm sure actually had nothing to do with anything. It was just a timing thing. We'll probably figure out kits by Wednesday. I'm willing to bet a very small amount of money, like $1, that one of the new kits is really good. And they know it. Or
I would hope so.
Or they aren't ready.
Which is funnier.
Slightly more likely. However, if we're being honest, they shouldn't have released Question. They should not have made Question available for that raid because she was bugged.
Yeah.
And for her, that first raid that she was in, not her at her raid. And even then she was still bugged for her raid, but the fact that they were available beforehand made us at least able to access them. I have a slight feeling that it is possible that Cheshire's kit might be something that could be a good raid kit for some reason.
I don't know.
That's what I was
reading that description. That reads as bleeds to me.
I know, and I read that as bleeds too, but I've read other kits that have seemed far worse than their. I mean, the descriptions have been misleading for many characters, and like the reworks, even like they usually copy and paste old ones. So like when frickin' Aquaman got a rework, we were all like, "Oh, he's gonna be another bleed mend character." And we're like, "Oh, and a turn meter manipulation character. Great, that's what we needed." And so I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not thinking that was any deciding factor on the raid timing, but I don't want to discount it at this point because there's really no reason to.
My one concern for Stitch is,
and Cheshire will probably be diseased, by the way, based on the fact that it used poison in the terminology, not
Brew.
wound.
Brew. That's a good point. Wait. Right, the rework is Vandal, not Roz.
Roz had a
getting-
rework. Roz is good. Roz is just a B tier tune.
I keep getting them confused in my head. Stitch specifically mentions that she's especially effective when Dr. Fate is around. I don't like tunes that are reliant on other tunes. Like, it's one thing when it's Desaad is reliant on Darkseid, because that's two S tier tunes. But Dove relying on Hawk, it's like, well, you made one of them good.
Here's my thing. Dove's the one who relies on Hawk, and Dove is better without Hawk. That doesn't impact her, actually, at all. That's very strange to me.
Yeah.
I think they could do it right where she is a feat, where Stitch will be a force to be reckoned with on her own. Without Dr. Fate, I'm hoping it's a Desaad situation where Desaad's honestly good enough on his own, but having Darkseid there really boosts him a little bit.
I agree.
And even then, Desaad's not good. I disagree with Desaad being good on his own, even though I can see an argument. I just don't like him on his own.
I will say he can actually be pretty useful against the Atro teams if you have Martian Manhunter, either Impulse or Wally.
Yeah.
And Desaad.
Yeah, if you can get Desaad a move before Atro, you're good. But
yes,
that's the hard part, is getting Desaad a move before Atro. Like, you're almost building an entire team around Desaad at that point to counter Atro exclusively, which can be dangerous depending on the other comp.
True. And you know what? That, according to the tier list, does make him an A rank tune. You need somebody else to have him be useful. So, anyways, I have to go take care of my sick fiance. So I will talk to you all later. But thank you for joining me. Congratulations again, Bacon, for the incredible performance in raids. Big shout out to the world's finest, the Owls, and also to the incredible effort that was put in by the second place team, the New Gods, this raid. We saw another one of our highest scoring raids in a while. So that was great.
Oh yeah, it was a good raid for us. Good raid.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
congratulations again, Bacon, as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And happy post-Thanksgiving. And we'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for joining our ramblings.